Hey guys, quick video on how to install a short shifter on a 2001 Toyota Celica GT. This is my Megan Racing one right here. It's going to be going right there obviously. So give you a rough idea of what it looks like now and what it's going to look like at the end. In order to do this, it's going to have to require a lot of disassembly on this main center console right here. It's not hard, it's mostly just clips and a couple screws. When you get down to this area though is when it starts getting a little bit more crazy, but it's not a huge job, honestly. Anyone can do this. So I'm going to go ahead and move it up to the front and show you where to begin and how to assemble this yourself. So we're inside the Celica now, and we're going to kind of work our way to from the front, get this whole area off. This whole piece right here that goes around the window, power control and all that, this is like a clip, so you can just honestly like pull it up like so. And okay, so that's now removed. I can move on to this. Like I said, just clips that wire back there, and you're able to just kind of slide this up. There we go. And move it to the side. And now you're starting to see more of what you're going to be working on. But before you get to that, there's a couple screws. So there's one right here, one right there, and there's two on the side. You'll be able to see it. It's right where my middle finger is, and same goes for this side. So you can see it's like that. And the last two are going to be in your glove box. Okay, got the little little fabric piece out of the way from the glove box. And like I said before, there's two screws right there. They're actually bolts, so that's different. The other two, other four, were just Phillips screws. Like that. Same size, so it doesn't really matter if you get them mixed up. But yeah, those are bolts. I'm gonna guess since it's a Toyota, it's gonna be a 10mm. But it's a 10 right here. I'm gonna try to drop it in. Nope, sure enough. This little guy right here, there's two screws. Match up right there to this. It is optional if you want to take that off. It's just underneath. There's another connection right there. You can do it by hand when it's in there. It's just kind of an awkward angle. Lifting this up with one hand is not easy. Give me a second. So, oh, I see. It's mostly caught on the e-brake right there. So you lift that up. And I didn't think about where I was going to put this. So just find something that can get within that size, that has a solid base that you can use a hammer to just kind of bang up against. And once this is out, you can move on to the next step. So this next step is very, very frustrating, and you'll see it throughout all the videos here on YouTube. Basically, this right here was on a little pin. As you can see, the freaking damage. I went through hell trying to get this thing off, but it was sitting right here. Where's all the tools? I used a hammer. I used these thick ass pliers, which didn't help at all. I used this mostly for the end to just kind of get it underneath. A lot of flatheads, and I'm trying to think of what I just used to break it. I just used something that broke it. But what I recommend doing for sure is taking your time. If you're starting to get frustrated, do not rush it. Do not rush it. Okay. So it's just a little pin. It's facing this way on the side, and you just kind of pull it. It has a little curvature, I guess, for your fingers to just kind of grab it nicely and tug. So that's that. And now this whole assembly should be able to come off. So just keep track of what's going on when you're taking these things apart. I was trying to pull it this way, and it wasn't going through, so I ended up just using that to get it through to here, kind of the same way it was for this, where you just kind of hammer it out, and it did just kind of fly forward and just kind of come apart. So please keep track of your stuff, and we're on to the next step, which is removing this. So it has like a little double-sided pin right here, and I'm going to try to do it best as I can where, this is weird, this is an awkward angle. You can kind of like see me pulling the pin out slowly. This is really hard to do with one. There, see how I'm kind of like pulling it off? I don't know if I explained it well, but it's kind of sitting on there like this, and it wraps around. And what you want to do is I basically use those to separate these, and then yank this one down below, so that way it caused it to just kind of like flip and then release. So it wasn't that bad. Some people would take apart this whole plastic, but at this point I'm a little too frustrated with my washer, and I don't want to mess with anything else if there's no need for it. But as you can tell, it's out. There it is. So I got these off using pliers, and luckily I got it off pretty quickly because these were kind of scratching it as I was trying to take it off. They look fine, but I'm going to clean them up, get rid of all that gross grease, and then go ahead and fill it back up with this Lucas One white lithium grease. That's what I was reading at the time when I was at Home Depot. I'm going to move on to the 12mm bolts that are located right here. There's 4 of them total, so 2, and then the 4. And these guys right here were sitting underneath the screws, so as you can tell it's hollow. And we're going to go ahead and use the new ones to give it a little bit more space and lock down better. These are the screws and washers it came with, and as you can tell, they're a little bit longer, more thread to them, so it does make up for, you know, that space you're going to be adding to it. I'm going to go ahead and put them under and start getting them down and show you guys the results. So I got the little spacers, purple ones, installed. So where those are, basically. Got those in, and then that little clip that was attaching these two together is back on. It was kind of... Okay, here's the parts after I greased them. So I mostly just greased this one and went through the hole and kind of turned it around. That way the grease is all the way through, because I can't really get my finger in there. And then also did the same thing with that, but with my actual finger. And right there, and right there. Again. Alright, so we're back in the car. Got everything lined up, including this one, the ball point right there, and soon to be the pin going through there. Just make sure that your spring is 1 on and 2 is separated. There's like these little weird like black tips right here. One's longer than the other. This one's short, this one's long, and there's also like a little black rubber piece or something like that that helps space it out so it's not just rubbing against the metal. Make sure that they're separated like that. This guy, we need this. So those little teeth right there are going to be facing up, and there's a little cutout right there to help match it up. Oh, like that. Let's see, hold on. Everything is still kind of loose, so it's not going to sit quite right. Now we can move on to this one. Almost forgot that. So I'm going to go ahead and start setting the pin in, and you can kind of already tell it's flat on 2 sides. So let's match that up. Alright, so I got it in, and it's going to be facing out like that. Get this guy that we took out from here. Go ahead and start setting it in. Might be a little hard, but I'll probably just end up using a hammer for that. This bit right here. For now, I'm just going to put this little pin down in that. There you go, so that's not going anywhere. Quick tip, I just watched a guy's video and he kind of came up with a good point. He was using like a socket like this and using this end to kind of cover that, and he started hammering the other side in. So I kind of did that myself, and I used my palm to kind of push against the two and let it come out, and then I would kind of keep that pressure there, cup it, and then safely, use the hammer and get it in there. Okay, so I got the plastic piece all set in there. Remember, it's the 2 screws right there, 2 for this, and the harness has to go underneath because of this piece right here. And then you can just place this on top and connect it, match them together. And then I already put the mat down, but those 2 bolts, the 10 millimeters right there, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting all this stuff back together. And, oh. See, I make mistakes too. Feels really good. That grease definitely kind of slides it around a lot quicker. The neutral feels a little bit more like in there. It doesn't really, it's not all that noticeable when you're in neutral as compared to before, so it doesn't juggle around. I mean, I'll know, but it's just, it doesn't move as much, So, I mean, overall, I'm really impressed with this. Hopefully this guide was pretty easy to follow. Yeah, I'm basically done here, and hopefully you guys are, and if you have any questions, please let me know. If I forgot a step, definitely let me know, and I'll pin your comment and make sure that everyone that watches this video has a more clear idea of the direction to take, in case, I let them wrong. But really appreciate you guys' help and support, really. Honestly, it's getting kind of crazy seeing how much this car has come along, and I dig it. And hopefully there's, still a community out there that takes as much pride in their car, especially if it's a GT. We don't get that much love here, so I gotta stamp that little R right there, get some more respect on the streets. So, alright guys, have a good day, and stay safe out there.